This will help to make fossil fuels history. The Great Reset explained. Continued. The U.S. economy and fossil fuels. The U.S. operates a mixed economy that blends some aspects of command and market economies. A market economy being where goods and services are both produced and consumed as a whole in order to fulfill the needs of those living and operating within it. It is the producers who determine what is to be produced and what prices to charge. If they expect to succeed, they'll produce what consumers want and charge what consumers are willing to pay. Industry, on the other hand, is a sector within an economy made up of manufacturing enterprises. And once again, of the three different sectors that make up an economy, it is a secondary sector, the one concerned with value addition and the production of finished goods, that is at stake. It was during the Second Industrial Revolution that Americans established themselves as manufacturing and processing giants, following the discovery of petroleum at Pennsylvania in 1859. As a result, for much of the 19th and 20th centuries, the U.S. was not only the largest oil-producing country in the world, but inherently, manufacturing and processing took flight from there as well. At the time, innovations in production line technology, material science, and industrial toolmaking made it easier to mass produce all kinds of goods that remade the American way of life and physical landscape. It was only with the onset of the information age where the American economy swiftly transitioned to one of services, more so recently with the application of software as a service technologies or SaaS. Now, although software companies are among the wealthiest in the world due to their ubiquity and having little to no cross-border constraints, they cannot truly satisfy the needs of the average consumer. The vast majority of people would still need food to eat, places to live, apparel, clothes to wear, items of entertainment and leisure to engage with in their free time, and so on. Going back to the origins of the evolution of environmentalism. AES Corporation is an American utility and power generation company based in Arlington, Virginia. In 1989, AES created the first documented carbon offset program in the U.S. by planting 52 million trees in South America, Guatemala to be specific, to offset carbon emissions from a new power plant the group had built in Connecticut at the cost of $2 million USD. This marked the beginning of voluntary carbon markets. According to environmentalists and social scientists, overall, the fact that companies have to pay for the right to emit carbon dioxide provides incentives for long-term changes towards business models and technologies that produce less GHG or greenhouse gas emissions, a fundamental goal of carbon markets. The economic challenges posed by the process of decarbonization, however, are truly frightening. It has been estimated that for the U.S. to reach its net zero goal, a state where emissions of carbon dioxide and removal of these gases are equal over a given period of time, it must go from generating about 20% of electricity from carbon-free sources today to at least 75% by 2030. Coincidentally, burning of fossil fuels for electricity remains the most cost-effective source of energy and is the most widely used. In 2019, 84% of primary energy consumption in the world and 64% of its electricity was from fossil fuels. Yet with this roadmap, these very same fossil fuels, coal, oil, gas, become the largest contributor to global climate change. For the goal to be met, therefore, industrial and manufacturing processes would have to change, a multitude of products reconstituted, and some, if not most, done away with altogether. And eventually, it would all cost companies more money to produce potentially fewer goods at a higher price. Entities whose foundation is built on profit rather than social good, the result would be bankruptcy. CSR. Prior to this, such initiatives fell under CSR, or corporate social responsibility, within the preserve and right of industry. And a core tenet of this aspect is that businesses, industries, enterprises, do not operate in a closed system and as such remain accountable to stakeholders outside the businesses, inasmuch as they are obligated to remain so to their customers and shareholders within. Under this plan, that right and responsibility has been taken away, hijacked from responsive corporations and concerned environmentalists alike, and now falls not just within the domain of government, but is also being driven by private, international, non governmental organizations and entities such as the World Economic Forum, by what can only be termed as a mandatory outside in approach to CSR. Bottom line, ESG. ESG is an acronym that stands for Environmental, Social, and Governance and refers to three key areas of measuring the sustainability and ethical impact of an investment in a business or company, effecting a global price on carbon, and all the above stated falls under the environmental pillar. Whereas with the second premise, the WEF seeks to append America's strength on a political basis. With the carbon credit system and the race to net zero, they would deal a second blow by way of eroding America's industry. Since, as a result of being left unchecked, the economy would be based on social good and social capital rather than the financial model and merit based system. The nation would also go from a capitalist free enterprise market economy to a socialist system with a command type of economy where the means of production are privately owned, but economic activity is controlled by the government or otherwise, that indirectly assigns the quality and quantity in terms of the industry's production goals by allotting not necessarily raw materials, but the disposable income in terms of carbon credits with which to work with. Further along this path, even the purchase and lifestyle choices of citizens would eventually fall under social good incentives. In the end, this entire plan would simultaneously achieve the overthrow of the USD economy and capitalism with it.